Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from Honest Fiction, and today I'm going to be discussing my birthday book haul. So it was recently my birthday, and I feel super blessed. I had a ton of friends and family get me a bunch of books. So stick around to find out all the books I got for my birthday. So the first book on my list is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. So I actually already read most of this book. I had it on a Kindle, but my mother-in-law bought it for me in hard copy, which I'm super thankful for because I think it's a really pretty cover. I'm really enjoying this book so far. It's a dual perspective story, so it follows Lee and Annie, and Lee is the child of these I don't know, like czar type. They were the ruling class, and there's pretty much been a revolution, and his family was killed, and he was sent to an orphanage where he met Annie, and Annie's family was actually probably killed by Lee's family. I don't think they ever come out and fully say it, or maybe they do a little bit later in the book. So they end up being friends, and they get put into this program where it's pretty much the guards of the city, and they ride dragons, which is really cool. And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really, really cool. I love all the political intrigue going on. And so far, really, really liking it. The next book on my list is The Sleeper and the Spindle by Neil Gaiman. So this is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion. I am not a huge Neil Gaiman fan. I really struggled through Neverwhere by him, and then I gave Good Omens a shot. I did enjoy it more than Neverwhere, but it still wasn't really my style. However, my husband didn't know this, so he got me this book. The illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. It's very, very pretty. It is a Sleeping Beauty or Snow White retelling. I am actually pretty pumped to read this. I'll let you guys know if I'm converted to a Neil Gaiman fan after I finish. So the next two books I'm gonna kind of show together. They are both by Brandon Sanderson. So the first is Warbreaker, which I already started on audiobook. Me and my husband were going somewhere. It was a pretty long drive, and he wanted to give Brandon Sanderson a shot because he heard me rave about Mistborn. So he was like, let's try it out. Really, really enjoying it. The other one is Elantris, which I believe was his first published work. But like I was saying, I'm a huge fan of Mistborn, and I'm working my way through the Stormlight archive right now, and I never read these two. So I'm really, really excited to read them. Warbreaker, I believe it's about a girl that she has an older sister who is supposed to be going off and marrying this being from another kingdom, but the younger sister, who's a little bit more rambunctious, ends up going in her stead, and then the older sister is going back to retrieve her. I actually haven't read this book yet, so if I'm wrong, I'm really sorry, but that's what I'm pretty sure the book's about. Elantris, I honestly don't know anything about it. I believe, yeah, I have no idea. I think they go to a fantasy world named Elantris, and there's supposed to be like all these beautiful beings there, and they end up actually being cursed or damned. I'm really excited to check this one out. I've heard really, really good things. The next book I have on this list is an adult Gothic horror, and it is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. So this book follows Noemi, who is living in Mexico, and her older cousin moved out of the city to marry this Englishman. And one day she sends a letter to Noemi saying that, I think the house is haunted, my husband is crazy, and like all these very concerning things. So Noemi packs up and goes to this house in the middle of nowhere and finds her cousin, and her cousin acts like everything's fine. She's like, I just had tuberculosis. Don't pay attention to anything I said in that letter. It's all fake. So Noemi doesn't really believe her. Wants to stay a little bit longer and check everything out and get down to what's really happening in this house. I've heard really good things about this. I figured it's October. I'm in the mood for a spooky read, and I'm so excited to read this. Another book I got is Where Dreams Descend by Janella. I believe I actually already read this one as well. I had it on my Kindle, but I thought the cover was really, really pretty. I I'm gonna do, I think, an entire review on this because I did really enjoy it, but there were some issues I had as far as magic system and some things feeling a little bit messy. But it pretty much follows Kalia, and she is a show magician, and she's been staying with her one, like, I think he's called a master, I don't know. Yeah, the master, and he's been teaching her how to pretty much become a better magician, but she really wants to get out in the world. And one day she sees a letter saying that there's a contest, spectacular, in Glorian, and she really wants to go, and her master is like, nope, can't do it, we're gonna stay here. So she goes off on her own, and she's trying to make it pretty much and be like the best magician and be known by everybody. And it kind of tackles some stuff with feminism. I did really enjoy it. Watch my review when it comes up, or you can check out my written review at honestfiction.club. All right. The next book on my list is an adult fantasy, and it is The Rage of Dragons. I know very little about this book. This was a gift from my husband. I think he wants me to have similar taste in books as him. I am really excited to read it, though. It's quite long, so it might take me a while. I believe it is about I know it's about a man, and he's trying to get revenge. It's pretty much all I know. 1 in every 2,000 women has the ability to call down dragons, and 1 in every 100 men, I think, becomes a gladiator or something to that extent. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I know, like I said, I know very little about this one, but it looks really cool. I'm very excited to check it out. Next up, we have The Whisper Man by Alex North. So this is a thriller about a serial killer who killed people. I believe he used to whisper at their window, and he got the nickname The Whisper Man. And it's been 5 years since the serial killer was caught, but residents move into town, and then a young boy is killed. So I'm excited. Like I said, it's October now when I'm filming this. I'm in the mood for a good thriller, something a little spooky. And piggybacking off this, I also got The Shadows, also by Alex North. I'm not sure if this is a sequel to The Whisper Man. I haven't really looked into it much just because I don't want to get spoiled. So if it's not, I apologize. I think they're connected. So anyway, I'm really excited to read it. The next book on my list is another thriller. It is 13 by Steve Cavanagh. I have not read, I think he has a few, this might be a series, but it's about a guy who kills his wife, who I believe is a movie star, and the defense lawyer, I believe it follows the defense lawyer's perspective, is trying to get him off, and there's a ton of evidence against him. There's a very strong-willed prosecutor, and someone on the jury might know more than they're saying. So I'm very excited to read this. One of my friends is an avid reader and recommended this and said I would really like it. The last 3 books on this list are from Book of the Month. So my husband was very sweet and got me 12 gift credits so I could get whatever books I wanted for Book of the Month, and these are the 3 I picked for October. The first one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Shwab. This is actually going to be my first book by V.E. Shwab. I've heard really, really good things. I actually own a couple other of her works, but I haven't had a chance to read them yet, and I think this might skip to the front because I'm super excited. But it's about a girl who makes a deal with, I think, a god or a devil for immortality to escape having, I believe it's an arranged marriage, but in doing so, she does end up becoming immortal, having eternal life, but everyone who meets her immediately forgets she exists. So definitely a downside there. I'm very excited. I heard this has beautiful prose, and I can't wait to read it. This is definitely jumping to the front of my TBR. The next book is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I have read other books by Riley Sager. This is I think it's a horror thriller. It's about a man who writes a story about a haunted house that him and his family used to live in. It's based on his real life, and then how they fled the house because it was haunted, and his daughter is now grown up, and she goes to investigate what really happened in this house. Was it really haunted? Was her dad making everything up? And so excited. I love his other books. It should be really, really good. And the last book on my list is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I believe this has been compared kind of to like Agatha Christie. There's an island where there is a bunch of pretty eccentric characters and someone's about to get married, but I think either the day of the wedding or before the wedding, someone shows up dead and they're trying to solve who was killed, or I'm sure they know who was killed, but why this person was killed and who did it. So I think it'll be a really, really fun, and it should be a pretty quick read. I'm excited. All right. All right, guys, that's it for my birthday book haul. Thanks so much for sticking around and listening to all the books I got for my birthday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Tuesday, or if you like written reviews, you can check them out at honestfiction.club. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.